What's up, guys? It's me again, Jacob, your very own personal rank 1 healer, and today I'm just going to be showing you some tips and tactics on Resto Druid in some high rated 2s games with my hunter partner. So we'll just be showing you how to use FLESHCRAFT, which is new to the game a lot, try to get some good vortexes in to mess with people, and maybe cover some traps with stuns. As well as showing some deep root gameplay and how to mess with warriors. So anyway, let's get into it. Okay, in this first game, we'll be going against Survival Hunter Holy Paladin. I believe this is a 2.4 to 2.5 MMR 2s game. We'll be playing Thorns because the Survival Hunter is melee. They don't have a Purge. We'll be playing Deep Roots. They do have a few freedoms, so this might not be the best move versus Survival Hunter. Maybe take Revitalize or something in retrospect. But I'll be playing Feral Affinity. I am a Necro Lord, and the rest is pretty standard stuff. So let's just jump right into it. So right now on the Druid, we're about at 222 eye level. Pretty good gear. Everyone else in the game seems to be fully geared as well. First things first, I just get some hots out on my hunter, go for the re-stealth, or just for the initial stealth, and whenever this hunter pops out, the plan is to just stun him up and start fighting. My hunter will go for his stun into the trap on the paladin. As you guys have probably seen before in previous videos, they're just kind of being a little bit lame, both hunters just sitting in stealth waiting for it to end. Pretty normal stuff when going against hunters. They'll try to find the other team until their stealth is over. Anyways, it looks like my hunter gets found out. I stun up the survival hunter, help him get some distance. I drop a vortex on him so that way I can just get some distance myself, maybe get a clone on the paladin. Just trying to position away from where this hunter can kill me to possibly get a clone. He does end up stopping me there. I go bear form knowing that he does have a stun for me. So they just trap me off of that. My hunter knows that he needs to be safe. He uses his Roar of Sacrifice to take less damage. He uses his heal, his Feign Death. I use my Innervate there. So whenever I come out of the CC, my first move is to Innervate and then Overgrowth my hunter. So that way it saves me a lot of mana whenever I'm just trying to chunk some heals out. Normally you'll want a Cenarian Ward and then Swiftmend. I just used mine in a bad order, but it doesn't really matter too much at this point. So we got our team topped up. We want to get the next CC, so I stun up the hunter, I stun up the paladin. We get the trap with the cross CC. Just going to try to get some extra dots with Moonfire. Position, max range to possibly get a clone, but he does a leap trap on me. I probably could have used my Necro Lord FLESHCRAFT ability to immune that trap. I come out thinking the paladin had Hodge, but I just went for the clone, and he didn't end up hodging me. I do have Vortex here, so I might try to pre-Vortex his leap. Yep, I do end up getting it. I Vortex him. He's going to try to leap in on me to trap me. If you kind of get a feel for it, then you can tell when he's going to do it, watch his positioning, and maybe pre-Vortex it. Here, I FLESHCRAFTed the Paladin's Hodge on myself, as you can see with the Omnibar on the bottom. Whenever the Pally's running at you, a lot of the time they won't think to do this. With the FLESHCRAFT. The FLESHCRAFT will get the Hodge a lot of the time. I instantly use my Bark Skin and my Overgrowth on myself there. Drop the Thorns on myself to get the Hunter off. I notice that I get the positioning for a Cyclone, so I just lob the Cyclone while I can. Get some distance from the Hunter. Use my free regrowth on my Hunter. Sin Ward, Swiftmend, so that my legendary makes the Sin Ward really long. As you can see, use my Adaptive Swarm to boost all these heals like crazy. Necro Lord is just really, really good. They're going to use their big heal here. So if you're a hunter and you don't know this, it's really hard to do, but for Divine Favor on Paladins, you can Trank Shot it off and then kick them, but it is hard to do since you have travel time on your Trank Shot. Their hunter has freedom right now, so we can't really root him. I do have Vortex for his leap. I know it's coming, so I just pre-Vortex it. The hunter misses his trap. He did throw it there. My hunter gets his stun into trap on their paladin. I'm just positioning away from the hunter where I can heal my hunter. Their hunter has bop, so we're not like doing too much pressure with that trap. But anyway, he swaps to me, so I just bark skin myself. I meld, re-stealth, and stun the hunter to get some distance. Just use my meld like that. It works pretty well. He did have Trinket, but he didn't use it. Start trying to get some hots out. I get trapped. I trinket instantly because I know that they just have pressure and I need to trinket to keep us going. I fake the hunter kick there with my regrowth. I'm not really utilizing my deep roots at all. I feel like I might not have been thinking about it too much this game. Maybe I could have utilized it. I just stunned both of them so the hunter might not be able to eat the trap on his paladin. I'm just getting max distance, getting my hots back up on my hunter. It's about to be their turn to CC me. He leaps in and he traps me. The paladin may have Hodge for me off of this trap. I'm not 100% sure. I will be using my Iron Bark, my Swiftmend. I FLESHCRAFT this Hodge again, just so you know, like just watch the range on the paladin. If he's running towards you, you might be able to time your FLESHCRAFT and get it. And those versus really high rated people in twos, so you should be able to do this. I innervate, overgrowth myself, and use my bark skin there when they swapped to me, just to get the most out of my innervate. Just get a ton of heals out. I use my Sin Ward here with my Adaptive Swarm to try to get some fat heals out. Use my Overgrowth, my Swiftmend. My Swiftmend boosts all my heals by more time. My instant reaction, as you guys can see when the hunter leaps in and traps me, is to bear form. That's like a reflex you might want to develop. So in case you get stunned by anybody, you just go bear form beforehand, before CC hits you, just to make yourself more safe. You really want to develop that muscle memory. So here we have a trap on the paladin. I'm just running the hunter away from him and staying alive. I am playing the finesse conduit that allows me to run faster after I come out of form. As you probably notice, it's really good. I like it a lot. I go for the free clone here while the hunter is in his turtle, so he can't kick me on the clone. So I just position myself where I can get the free cyclones. Right here, I probably shouldn't have eaten the stun out of form so badly. I did meld, re-stealth, stun him off me. I overgrowth myself, bark skin. I'm still okay. Their paladin's going they're out of cooldowns almost. That's the last bop. My hunter managed to trank shot their hunter's bop off. I just instantly go bear form again, as you see when he leaps to me. It's just a really good reaction to have. I thorns my hunter, but their hunter purged it off. I get Hodge, but I just instantly trinket to reverse the clone onto him to get some more pressure. Vortex the hunter so that he can't run away from my hunter while we have pressure. I Swiftmend, I NS heal my hunter to full health, and I just leap in for the bite to finish him off while their paladin is in a freezing trap. As you can see, this is a 2500 team, Hunter Holy Paladin. You can do these FLESHCRAFT outplays and these vortexes on even really decently rated people. So I just wanted to show you guys this. And I'll show you how to mess with warriors and Ellie shamans in the next 2 games that I'm going to show you. So let's move on to that. Okay, so in this next game, we're going against the Warrior Resto Druid team. I want to show you guys Deep Roots here, especially. Deep Roots just owns Warriors, especially when they don't have a freedom from a Holy Paladin. But even if they are playing with the Holy Paladin, I find this Deep Roots talent pretty good a lot of the time. You end up burning through their freedoms. Maybe your teammate can purge off the freedoms, and then you can Deep Roots them right after, even with the Holy Paladin. But anyway, especially with the Resto Druid, who doesn't have freedom, they just have 1 dispel. These Deep Roots are super good, like versus priests or monks or any other healer. I'm gonna be playing Feral Affinity. All the rest of the stuff is standard. Play Thorns for the melee damage, and yeah, we'll just get into it. So basically, what you want to do with this comp, as a hunter, and even with a lot of other DPS, you're going to want to get re-stealths, stun the warrior. You're going to want to root him. You could even root him and then stun him because roots don't put you in combat. But anyway, I just instantly stun the warrior out of stealth. I tried vortexing off my hunter, but my hunter explosive trapped him. The druid tries hibernating me, but I just shift out of forms, which is just free. So I just shifted out of the forms. I thorns my hunter. I go for the clone. I tried to bait his intervene reflect to see if he had it, but he didn't actually seem to do it. He intervenes here and wastes it, and he used his banner randomly. Their druid is FLESHCRAFTing on the other side of the map for some reason. I'm able to get a free re-stealth. My hunter heals his pet back up to full health because it was dying. Here I'm able to get 2 different stuns to help him get the trap. The warrior can't eat it if he's stunned. It looks like we didn't get the trap, so I just cycloned instead. Now I'll be entangling rootsing the warrior. We get the reflect out of the way. Here comes the next one. This root's full. His healer is not dispelling it. My hunter is in a fear. He dispels that root, which I'm able to just reroot again. Vortex him off. Now I can stun him, just making his life miserable. I get full bleeds on him. I get storm bolted by the warrior here, who he actually can't get to me. Actually, he could have leaped to me, but he decided to leap to my hunter after using his bastion circle on me for some reason. Here I'm just using Innervate to get all my free hots out. Their warrior is using some damage, so I just use my thorns and my iron bark. Here I'm going to be spam shifting. I use my meld, my re-stealth, and my stun on the warrior again to get away from the melee, as I did before with the hunter, the survival hunter. Here I'm able to just go for some roots on the warrior. He gets dispelled. We get a free trap on the druid as I'm just standing behind the trap waiting for him to walk into it. I just clone him for free off. My hunter decides he wants to do a half trap, and then I cyclone. Their warrior is late on the banner. Once again, not really doing anything with his banner. He could honestly have played better this game, but this game does demo how entangling roots is good versus warriors. It would still work even though he's playing this not so well. I stun up the warrior off my hunter. I vortex him so that the charge messes up, or I mess up his charge with my vortex, and my hunter is able to keep some distance. Here I'm just spamming roots, and as you can see, I can re-stealth whenever I want. It doesn't put you in combat when you entangling roots. So if you're sitting there spamming roots on someone, you can instantly stealth and then stun them at the end of it with Feral Affinity, and then have even more of a CC chain peeling the warrior off of your ranged DPS. So here they just fear up my hunter to try to live. I notice I have full combo points that I can use for whatever I want. My hunter's kind of in a bad spot here. I just overgrowth him, I swift mend him. I'm going to get cloned if he doesn't kick it. My hunter does kick it. I use my NS with my Soul of the Forest onto my hunter. I could have fleshcrafted this Cyclone and immuned it, but I didn't because I was too slow. My hunter did use his turtle there too, so not the best play out of us. We did get the full trap into the full clone once again on the healer. I'm popping thorns because their warrior is avataring and he's getting uptime on my hunter. My hunter knocks him down. My vortex immunes because of the explosive trap. I just didn't think about it in the moment, but that's something that's very worth noting. Vortex and explosive trap do DR. Their healer has Innervate up right now. I'm entangling rooting the warrior. We get the druid's dispel. I root him again just to keep some distance. I get the re-stealth for free because entangling roots doesn't put me in combat, so we get the stun into the trap on the hunter. I get another re-stealth. I'm able to get a free clone on the healer while the warrior's in the clone, or in the stun, and then I can re-clone here once again. I notice the warrior's coming off root DR. Maybe I can start entangling rooting him again. Here comes one, he reflects it, I just root again instantly after maybe. Doesn't look like I do. My hunter knocks him down. The druid's coming off trap DR. The warrior intervened his healer's stun, so we weren't able to get the trap because the warrior intervened the stun, sadly. So now I have Innervate up once again. I need to be pumping out some heals. I use my Sin Ward. I healed the pet some. I NS my hunter. Drop a vortex here so my hunter can get some distance. I use my free regrowth. I'm full feared here, but I know that I can sit it because my hunter's kiting the warrior. So the warrior's forced to go me. I'm able to just spam shift forms and run around corners, so he can't actually get to me. The warrior intervened to his druid to get closer to the hunter. He's just slowed off of him. Really unfortunate for the warrior. I fleshcraft here to try to immune some CC. I may or may not have gotten something, maybe like a dragon roar. I'm not sure if he's playing guardian affinity, but if he had a bash or a dragon roar there, it was a good fleshcraft. I just get the free roots on this guy. His healer isn't dispelling him. I just get the re-stealth and stun the warrior. I probably should have just rooted him some more and then stunned him. Me and my hunter both have the idea to stun the healer into a freezing trap. He misses the trap, sadly, by a little bit, so the healer will be able to keep his team alive for a little bit longer. I do get Dragon's Roared, or Bear Roared, whatever you want to call it, incapped. So I did probably immune it earlier with that Fleshcraft, now that I'm thinking about it. Drop a Vortex here to try to get the warrior's charge, possibly, or something of that nature, just to get some distance. Get a free re-stealth here. I get a stun on the warrior, I get a stun on the druid, so that we can get the freezing trap without the warrior intervening the freezing trap. You always want to go for that cross CC. Here I go for the cyclone on his healer off the trap. I get the root onto the warrior. I clone the healer again. I root to get the reflect out of the way. And now I can root some more if I want to, but he is on half DR. I use my Sin Ward. I use my Adaptive Swarm. I'm probably going to Swiftmend to continue my Sin Ward. Yep, I do Swiftmend, which makes my Sin Ward last even longer with that Adaptive Swarm boosting it. That's how you get the most out of your heals. You want to do that over and over again. Here, they War Banner because I'm in stealth, so I just killed the banner. I probably shouldn't have, considering he had fear for me. It was a pretty bad move. And my hunter could have just killed it, so I could have just sat in stealth. But anyway, I overgrowth my hunter. I have NS for him off of this. I had a Soul of the Forest NS there, I believe. Top him up. Fake the warrior's kick. I stun the warrior, stun the druid. The warrior trinketed my stun, I believe, to stop my cyclone on the healer. We're just getting our distance, running out of the healer's vortex. He uses his innervate. We're still winning on mana despite his innervate here. My innervate comes up in 12 seconds, and I'm still ahead on mana. Thorns into his Blade Storm, so it's doing max damage against the warrior. Use my Sin Ward Swiftmend again with my Adaptive Swarm, just comboing that over and over again for maximum healing output. Then going for the re-stealth, so while my HOTS are topping my hunter, you get the free stuns. We get the trap here because we get the cross CC. Right here, I root the warrior for free. I'm able to get that full clone off the trap on the healer. I re-root the warrior again. The healer cannot dispel it. I re-root him one more time, and I clone the healer. And the damage just doesn't break the roots. He's just CC'd infinitely. He gets knocked down. Just showing you how strong Deep Roots really is. Deep Roots is insanely good. The warrior intervene reflects the healer's trap. I just vortex the warrior in my hunter's line so that we can finish him off. He uses his rallying cry. He's killing the pet, trying to keep the pet alive. I run in. I Swiftmend it. I get a regrowth on it with my Soul of the Forest. Keep my dots up on the warrior to keep the pressure rolling. The rallying cry falls. I get a free clone on the healer. I'm already recloning the trinket because I see that he has trinket. My hunter's lining me here, so I trinket the bash, I leap up, use my innervate overgrowth, I Swiftmend with the Sin Ward. I still have Adaptive Swarm that I don't even need to press, and the warrior goes down. So that just shows you how to take advantage of Deep Roots on warriors, and it works on other melee as well. You can try it versus rogues, try it versus Death Knights, even versus Windwalkers, and some other melee possibly, like Demon Hunter maybe. Might even work for some range characters with certain comps, but anyways, that game was just showcasing Deep Roots. So we'll move on to the next game, and the next game will be against an Ellie Shaman, and I'll show you how to take advantage of them. Alright guys, so this game is against Disc Priest Ellie Shaman. So you're going to play Master Shapeshifter for the extra damages, and you're going to play Mark of the Wild for the possible Flame Shock damage, and the Priest Dot, I think it also may do fire damage. So just some decent talents for that. I'm playing Feral Affinity for some damages and for stuns. The big thing versus Ellie Shamans is that they have Grounding Totem, and the only way to get CC is to cross CC the Ellie Shaman whenever you go for your CC, just like a Warrior's Intervene. So we'll be doing a lot of setups where we're stunning the Ellie Shaman when we want to trap the healer, just so the Ellie cannot get the free Grounding Totem on the Priest to protect him. So here my hunter silences him with his sting. I wait for the sting to end, and then I rake stun him so that he can't ground the trap. And also, if he wanted to trinket ground, then and he trinketed the sting, I would instantly be able to rake stun him before he gets the grounding down. So that's kind of the play we're looking for. Notice how I position as soon as right here, as soon as I stun the Ellie, the first thing I do is I vortex him to where he can't stop me from getting this clone that I'm going for off on the trap. So I'm behind this pillar, out of line of sight of the Ellie, casting clone for free. So you want to build a position like this constantly. You want to pay attention to lining people's kicks and getting free clones. This is really big in a lot of situations. Here I'm just going for the re-stealth because I can. I noticed the Ellie's popping some damage, so I stunned him into the Cyclone. He's lower HP now too, which is good if you can clone people at low HP. The priest sadly deathed my hunter's trap, which makes it to where if he hits him with Holy Fire, I believe, or some other ability, then it immunes the freezing trap, so he'll do damage to himself right when the trap hits him. Here I got the re-stealth, I stun the Ellie. I wanted to stun the priest too, but I ended up getting feared and couldn't get the stun on the priest for the cross CC. Just lining the Ellie. You want to dispel flame shocks as much as possible, and I cannot stress this enough. This is night and fucking day. You want to definitely be dispelling flame shock off cooldown. Like, no matter what healer you are versus Ellie Shamans, just dispel flame shock, dispel flame shock, dispel flame shock. It will kill their damage. They won't get any lava burst procs. You just want to mess with them as much as you can, mitigate as much damage as possible. Here, I get full combo points with my bleeds. I use my adaptive swarm on the shaman to do extra damage. As you can see, my dots are ticking really quickly for a decent amount of damage on him. You can't really tell with the absorbs, but I'm able to get some wraths off. Wrath, I believe, doesn't cost any mana, and it's free damage if you ever want to try using it. It's not that bad of an ability, to be honest with you. You might not think to use it. But here I Swiftmended and then NS'd the Hunter's Pet to keep it alive because the Ellie was Stormkeepering on him. I Vortex the Ellie so that my Hunter can line of sight for a second. I get both of my stuns. We're able to get the trap. With the cross EC, the Ellie can't ground the freezing trap because of the stun on him. We're just going to be dispelling flame shocks here. As soon as my dispel is back up, he has flame shock on both of us. I dispel my own flame shock. I'll be looking to dispel the next one. Their healer is trying to dwarf shadows in. I see this. I get a re-stealth, and I sadly get feared there. I shouldn't have turned around for that split second that I did. But anyway, I get lassoed here. I use my bark skin. They're using Dark Arc. They get a Mind Games on me. My first global is to dispel myself. Then I Overgrowth, and I save myself. I can get a re-stealth. I can stun the Ellie here for free because I haven't healed or done damage to anybody else besides myself for a few seconds. See how I'm positioning? The Ellie has shear for me, but I ran around the pillar to get out of his line of sight so that I can cyclone the healer off of the trap. He's using some big damage on my Hunter. I'll be recloning, but I faked the wind shear because I noticed the Ellie was coming around the corner to stop me. I noticed my Hunter's Pet is dying here, so I tell him to heal it. He uses his Exhilaration and heals his pet to full. Here, I know that the Priest is on DR for Cyclone, but I also know that I can mess with this Ellie and bait his grounding out just by fake casting the Cyclone there. So we get the grounding for free, even though I wasn't doing anything, realistically. But I stun his lasso instantly. I stun the priest. We get the full trap. We vortex him in my hunter's line. Get the moonfire and a few dots on him. Notice again, I'm positioning myself out of line of this Ellie so that I can get the clone. And then just retreat back behind this pillar. Get another clone out of the Ellie's line. Get one more just because he's still out of line. It looks like he's going to live here with his Fleshcraft and the healer's healing. We're going to bash him, try to keep the pressure rolling. We get a half trap. Sadly, if we waited a second, it would have been a full trap. Here, I noticed the Ellie was tunnel visioning healing surges on himself, and he probably knows that his priest is on DR for clone. So there's a slight chance that he wasn't going to kick my Cyclone on himself just because of those factors. So I just clone him at low health while the priest does Rapture up, just to mitigate that Rapture healing. And then I Sin Ward, Adaptive Swarm my Hunter for this lasso damage. Schism's coming in from the Priest, Mind Games is coming in. I'm line of sighting the Ellie. I'm getting the Cyclone on the Priest, noticing that he's too far from the pillar to line of sight me. So I squeeze it in, position out of the Ellie's line again for another reclone. I have Shadow Meld re-stealth. I didn't need to do it. I just used my combo points to maim the Ellie to cross CC so we get that stun trap on the healer. We're going to be line of sighting. No flame shocks are up for this Ellie. He's just doing no damage. No lava burst procs. He's just a sad kid. I dispel the flame shock again right there instantly. I'm lining the Ellie while he's scared. I get the free clone on the priest. and he's just holding on for dear life. I get a half clone while he's lassoing. So if you notice this as a healer, sometimes casters will be casting things like lasso, and you can just go for a cast and they might not cancel it. But either way here, they're just going to fall down with the pressure that we're getting. And I think our comp does pretty well into their comp. But anyway, the Ellie is just unable to do damage because of the Flame Shock dispels. He can't get pressure. And we're also just line of sighting his wind shears, trying to bait his grounding totems to get our traps. But anyways, I hope these games may have helped you guys. Please follow me on Twitch, JacobXTV on Twitch. Sub to my YouTube. Please like the video if you like the video. I'm going to be putting out as much educational content with all the different healers as I can. As I've been doing, I'll try to continue to do it even more so. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Have a nice day or night wherever you are. I love you all, and peace.